Lecture 10, Part 1. Control environment. These are the elements, the components of internal control. The first one is control environment. It includes the governance and management functions. It includes the attitude, awareness, and actions of TCWG along with management. Control environment sets the tone of an organization, that is, making people aware or conscious about the relevance of internal control. Very important topic, elements of control environment. Participation by TCWG to ensure that entities' control environment is appropriately designed. Management's philosophy and operating style has a significant impact on entities' overall control environment. Communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical values to the people working in the organization. For example, reward and punishment mechanism for compliance and non-compliance of internal controls. Designing an appropriate organization structure depending upon the size and nature of business activities. Human resource policies and procedures such as recruitment, training, counseling, performance evaluation, compensation, promotion, etc. impacts the overall control environment of the organization. Note, very important, existence of a satisfactory control environment is not an absolute deterrent to fraud. The existence of satisfactory control environment can be a positive factor while assessing the risk of material misstatement. This may also help in reducing the overall risk of fraud, but it is not an absolute deterrent to fraud. Deficiencies in control environment may significantly undermine or negatively affect the effectiveness of internal controls. Control environment by itself does not prevent or detect and correct a material misstatement. For prevention, detection and correction, appropriate controls will be needed. However, control environment may influence the auditor's evaluation of effectiveness of internal controls. B. Entity's risk assessment process. Auditors should understand the entity's process of identifying business risk relating to their financial reporting objectives. How do they estimate the significance of risk? How do they assess likelihood of their occurrence? How do they decide about actions to address those risks? Now, this is just for understanding. Note, risk management process includes identification of those events or conditions which will not allow the organization to achieve their objectives. Organization should analyze these events or conditions to understand their likelihood and potential impact on the business. After such assessment, organization may choose any of the following responses to address these risks: either to accept the risk, avoid the risk, or share or reduce the risk. All these three are known as risk management strategies. And in order to reduce the risk, internal controls are thus implied. Okay? This is not to be written during the exam note portion. C. Control activities. Control activities are policies and procedures that help the management to ensure that their business objectives can be achieved. Control activities may include the following: segregation of duties. All activities in a process should not be carried out by one person. Physical access controls for safeguarding the assets. Performance reviews, that is, comparison of actual data against budgeted data or standard data. D. Monitoring of controls. Monitoring of control is a process to assess the effectiveness of internal control performance over a period of time. B. Management may accomplish monitoring of controls through ongoing evaluations, separate evaluations, or a combination of both. E. The information system. Auditor should understand the entity's information system, which includes all important business processes relevant to financial reporting. Information system may include identification of class of transactions that are significant to financial statements. For example, any activity related to purchases, sales, etc. Information system should include a detailed process regarding a transaction, that is, how transactions are initiated, recorded, processed, corrected if necessary, and reported. D. The financial reporting process used to prepare financial statements should be part of entity's information system. There should be controls around all types of journal entries. Now refer page number 3.11 for MCQ and correct and incorrect. This portion. Controls relating to objectives that are not relevant to an audit. An entity generally has controls relating to objectives that are not relevant to an audit and therefore need not to be considered. For example, an entity may rely on a sophisticated system of automated controls to provide efficient and effective operations, such as airline system of automated controls to maintain flight schedules. But these controls ordinarily would not be relevant to audit. Further, although internal controls apply to entire entity or to any of its operating units or business processes, an understanding of internal control relating to each of the entity's operating units and business processes may not be relevant to the audit. In certain circumstances, the statute or the regulation governing the entity may require the auditor to report on compliance with certain specific aspects of internal controls. As a result, the auditor's review of internal control may be broader and more detailed.